All right, so my name is Grant Reed from Lataka Safaris. I'm talking to you here from the outskirts of the Okavango Delta in Mount Botswana. There's a lot of things that really surprise people about the mobile tented safari, but I think for most people the biggest surprise is the food. It blows people away. A lot of people are expecting to eat a can of bully beef and baked beans, and they're expecting very, very simple food. And we don't try and be fancy with the food. It's really good home cooking, but it's exceptional quality of food. For starters, they turn out soufflés off a little bush oven that I can't do in my kitchen with a real oven. Fresh bread every day, fresh cookies for tea, fresh cakes in the afternoon. So the food is of an exceptional standard. Yeah, a lot of people think they're going to end up sleeping on the floor and having a sleeping bag. We spent several years designing the beds, for maximum comfort. In the early days, a lot of operators, still quite a few guys, are using stretcher beds, but you get that sort of hammock feeling where you kind of can't really turn over and you get kind of trapped in that sort of hammock. So now we have really nice, wide, solid base beds with thick, high-density foam mattresses, duvets, blankets, really nice linen. Will you have to go poo in the woods? No, you won't. So I think for a lot of people, the bathroom, kind of how that works, for a lot of people is the big deciding factor. Am I willing to go on this mobile tented safari? We've spent a huge amount of time on the bathrooms. We've tried various types of chemical toilets. The bathrooms, the toilet setup that we've stuck with for the last 15, 16 years and had not a single complaint about ever is really simple. It's a frame of a toilet with a really nice wooden toilet seat over a hole that is 1 meter deep, and just like at home it flushes, but instead of flushing with water it just flushes with a bucket of ash and agricultural lime, and once you flush it, it's gone, odor free. It's an open air bathroom. People love the bucket showers, and I still think having a bucket shower, like a hot bucket shower under the African stars, is one of the most amazing experiences that people can have in Africa. A lot of people coming to Africa are worried about the heat. Some people are worried about the cold, but actually most people don't believe us that it gets cold in Africa. And I think probably the biggest mistake a lot of people make is actually coming without enough warm stuff in our winters. But the heat in Africa is a real thing, and if people are afraid of being hot, then it's about selecting the right season to come. Our hottest time is October in Botswana, where it'll push very close to and sometimes over 40 degrees on a daily basis. But it is a dry heat, and it is a very popular time of the year, and people come and have an amazing time. Because Botswana is a semi-desert country, we actually have very little insect life. There are very, very, very few insects that fly around, particularly in the dry season. Coming into the wet season, way fewer insects than you will see in places like Kruger National Park and neighboring countries like Zimbabwe and Zambia, and actually very few mosquitoes. Funnily enough, you would think with all the water of the Okavango wetland, there are very few mosquitoes. I think for most people, their concern is that animals are going to come into camp and vindictively hunt them down and either trample them or eat them. And when you can explain to people, and people understand the mindset of these animals and what the animals are actually about, people suddenly realize that that's a ridiculous notion. We are super predators. All these animals, the reason why they run at us and they trample us and they maul us is because they are terrified of us. So they have a huge amount of respect for us. So none of these animals wants to risk their lives coming in and creating a conflict in an area that they can just simply walk around and avoid. When these animals come into camp, they come into our space, and they come into our space because they trust us, because for the last 30, 40 years, people have been camping there, nothing negative has happened. So when the animals come in, They're not coming in an aggressive manner. So when lions or leopard or hippo move through the camp, which they do, they're coming in because they feel comfortable with us and they're not looking for trouble. What would I say to somebody that was considering a safari and not sure? I would say go. I don't know of anybody that's gone to Africa and gone back and went, that was a waste of money. I wish I hadn't gone. Africa touches people in an amazing way, and everybody that comes here goes home a better person. It's an amazing experience, and if you're thinking of going, go.